rolls over the... Oh, wow!
The ocean has always been home to strange and unsettling life, but every so often a discovery shakes even the experts. In the crushing black waters of the Tonga Trench, researchers recently recorded a creature that seemed more like a vision from science fiction than a living animal.
Pictures went viral of this mako shark just absolutely decimated from the head down.
It moved with quiet power, revealed teeth designed for total dominance, and displayed features that left scientists both amazed and unsettled. Unlike anything captured on film before, this encounter has forced many to wonder what else is hiding in the planet's coldest, darkest corners. If this predator exists, what other terrifying creatures remain unseen? Tonga Trench Shark Encounter. The deep sea has always been a place where human curiosity meets human limitation. Past a few hundred meters, our bodies can no longer withstand the crushing pressure. We rely on technology to push beyond those limits, sending submersibles, drones, and high-end camera rigs into the abyss to see what we cannot. In September 2024, one of those missions ventured into the waters west of the Tonga Trench, the second deepest marine trench in the world and the deepest in the southern hemisphere. What the team recorded was both extraordinary and unnerving. The expedition, led by the University of Western Australia and the Minderoo UWA Deep Sea Research Center, lowered a baited camera system to a depth of about 1,400 meters. At that depth, the world is stripped of sunlight, the water chills to 2 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is immense enough to crush anything unprepared for it. Down there, life moves differently, slow, deliberate, and adapted to an environment most species could never endure. It is here that the camera caught the approach of a Pacific sleeper shark, a rarely seen apex predator of the deep. The footage begins quietly, showing the dark, almost empty seafloor. Then, from the shadows, a shape begins to emerge, a massive, broad-headed figure moving with calm confidence. The shark glides toward the camera, its pale eyes reflecting the faint light. According to Chief Scientist Dr. Jessica Kolbus, this particular individual was estimated to be around 3 meters long, although members of the species can grow beyond 7 meters. With no claspers visible on the pelvic fins, the team identified her as a female. Rather than circling cautiously, she heads straight for the camera. In the video, the lens is suddenly filled with rows of teeth and the pale interior of her mouth as she bites down, testing the strange object in her path. Viewers get a startlingly clear look at the inside of a predator designed for the deep. A few seconds later, as if realizing the camera offers no nourishment, she turns her attention to the bait positioned alongside it. The shark takes several decisive bites, tearing into the fish with ease before swimming away into the blackness from which she came. Pacific sleeper sharks are benthopelagic, meaning they inhabit waters close to the ocean floor as well as the midwater zones. Their diet is diverse and highly adaptable. Studies of stomach contents have revealed everything from bottom-dwelling fish to squid, crabs, prawns, and even giant Pacific octopus. This opportunistic feeding habit likely plays a role in their ability to survive in the resource-scarce deep. They are also related to the Greenland shark, a species famous for its remarkable lifespan, often exceeding 250 years, which raises intriguing questions about whether sleeper sharks share similar longevity. Sightings of adult Pacific sleeper sharks are rare, especially in the southern hemisphere. Most encounters come from juveniles caught accidentally in fishing nets. What makes the encounter even more fascinating is the location itself. The Tonga Trench plunges to depths exceeding 10,800 meters at its deepest point, the horizon deep. The 1,400-meter site where the shark appeared sits well above that extreme, yet still firmly in a part of the ocean few creatures can tolerate. The water here is near freezing year-round, and the immense pressure shapes the biology of everything that lives there. A predator capable of thriving in such conditions must be extraordinarily resilient. The video also highlights how these sharks investigate their surroundings. Without hands or other tactile appendages, they rely heavily on their mouths to explore unfamiliar objects. A bite, in this case, is less about aggression and more about curiosity. For scientists, that small act revealed a wealth of information, not just about the shark's size and sex, but about its behavior in the presence of new stimuli. Now, beyond sharks, the Hadal Zone holds creatures far stranger than we imagine. Mysterious animals of the Hadal Zone. When people talk about the Tonga Trench, they usually picture the walls plunging into darkness and the idea of a predator cruising the cold abyss. What often gets missed is that the Tonga Trench is part of a much bigger story. Its deepest sections push far into the Hadal Zone, a realm that begins around 6,000 meters down and stretches to nearly 11,000. This is not just deep water. It is a different world entirely, one where pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface, and the only light comes from creatures that make it themselves. The animals here are not just rare. They are built from the ground up to defy the rules we know for life in the ocean. Besides Sleeper Sharker, another research expedition cameras caught sight of a big fin squid, a creature so rare that fewer than 24 have ever been recorded. Suspended 10,800 feet below the surface, it drifted through the water with tentacles stretching nearly 13 feet, held at sharp angles that made them look almost jointed. Scientists believe those arms work like a net, spreading wide to snare drifting prey. The largest on record measured over 20 feet in length, but there are suggestions they can reach even greater sizes, perhaps up to 26 feet. To see one alive, moving slowly with its enormous limbs trailing like threads, is to glimpse a being that seems more like a phantom than an animal. Not far behind in this lineup of Hadal oddities are the amphipods. At first glance, they resemble ordinary shrimp, but some, like Allicella gigantea, grow nearly 10 inches long. Their bodies, soft yet chemically reinforced, survive freezing temperatures and long periods without food. They can store enough energy to endure famine until the next scrap of organic matter falls from the surface. The snailfish takes adaptation in another direction. They are translucent and gelatinous, their bodies more like jelly than bone. This soft structure is their shield against crushing pressure, letting them live more than 8,000 meters down, and in the case of the Mariana snailfish, nearly 11,000. They move with slow, deliberate motions, conserving energy in a world where food is as rare as sunlight. Their blood chemistry is just as unusual, packed with compounds that keep their cells functioning when most life would simply shut down. The cusk eel is another Hadal resident that looks deceptively fragile. Long and slender, with skin that seems almost see-through, it has an arsenal of sensory tricks that turn it into an efficient hunter in the black. Sensitive lateral lines run the length of its body, and tiny pores on its head can pick up the faintest electrical signals from prey hiding in the sediment. Some species even carry their own built-in lure, a bioluminescent organ beneath the eye that flashes just enough to draw smaller creatures into striking range. Then, there are the Hadal prawns, small but surprising survivors. For years, scientists assumed crustaceans could not handle these depths because their calcium-based shells would fail under pressure. Yet Benthicissimus crenatus has proven otherwise, turning up more than 7,000 meters below the surface. Its thin, delicate shell and fine sensory hairs make it a master at detecting chemical cues in the water, allowing it to track down even the faintest traces of food. Every time one is pulled from a deep-sea net, it is a reminder that our assumptions about life's limits are often wrong. The giant amphipod Hirondellea gigas takes survival to an entirely new level. This creature is armored, literally. It coats itself in a layer of aluminum hydroxide drawn from the sediment around it. This natural plating works like pressure-resistant body armor, protecting it from both the crushing force of the water and any predators bold enough to compete for a carcass on the seafloor. Its size and resilience give it an edge in the deep-sea food race, allowing it to claim and defend the scarce bounty that makes it to the bottom. And yet, even these creatures are only hints of a far greater unknown. Earth's final frontier. For all the strange creatures we have glimpsed in the deep, the truth is that we are only scratching the surface. The deep ocean is vast beyond imagination, covering more than 90% of the planet's living space, yet it remains one of the least explored environments on Earth. In many ways, it is more accessible to send a probe to Mars than it is to reach the Hadal trenches that cut through our own oceans. Despite decades of study, scientists still admit that they cannot even list all of the kinds of life that dwell there. Every expedition reveals something unexpected. Entire groups of animals were overlooked for years because research nets could not capture them intact. And when submersibles finally allowed direct observation, scientists realized that gelatinous organisms make up a massive part of the deep-sea biomass. Other discoveries, like the megamouth shark or bigfin squid, prove that even large species can remain hidden until chance brings them into view. This suggests that there are likely many more animals still waiting in the dark, their existence unknown simply because no one has been there to see them. The mystery goes far beyond cataloging species. The deep sea plays a crucial role in Earth's systems, from absorbing heat linked to climate change to cycling carbon that influences the entire atmosphere. Yet no one fully understands how food webs function at those depths, or how energy moves from the sunlit surface into ecosystems that never see daylight. Even something as fundamental as the use of bioluminescence remains an open puzzle. Light is a language in the deep, used to hunt, mate, and defend, but the details of that communication are still being decoded. What makes this world even more compelling is how little of it humans have directly visited. More people have walked on the surface of the moon than have reached the deepest trenches of the Pacific. The Challenger Deep has only been touched twice, and for brief minutes, despite being the very floor of our own planet. If the great national parks of the land are treasures we can see and walk through, then the deep sea is like an entire wilderness system still unmapped, waiting for its Yellowstone moments. With each dive, camera drop, or robotic mission, the picture expands. We learn that life is more adaptable, more creative, and more resilient than we imagined. But what we know is dwarfed by what we do not. The ocean's hidden depths remain Earth's greatest unknown frontier, a reminder that there are still worlds left to discover beneath the waves. The deep sea continues to remind us how little we truly know about our own planet. If this terrifying creature has only just been revealed, what other mysteries are still waiting in the darkness below? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more incredible discoveries.